Rush we said.
I think we should begin with words.
Should we start this one with words?
First, there was words.
Wait, I thought that was light.
Yeah, I thought it was light.
No.
But who said light? God.
Oh,
it
shit.
was written.
Oh, was it written?
And so it was be done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read that book.
The Bible.
It's a crazy book, so I've heard.
Is it a series?
They made a whole room for it in Spanish. It's called the Biblioteca.
Oh,
But
yeah.
This
Damn. Look at this guy.
Now we're canceled.
is why
in
we're
2
a
languages.
comedy podcast.
I think they're going to send you over the border right now for speaking Spanish.
I get to go to Canada?
Just drift political right away.
So draft dodging, huh?
We should get a politics jar,
The hilarious.
right? Like every time you mention
I
a
can't-
political topic, got to put $1 in the jar.
I would run out of dollars in like 5 minutes.
This podcast would finally make money.
Yeah.
Well, you would. I mean, you get some of your money
Yeah,
back.
it'll be my jar. We'll put it right over there.
We're not going to talk about the shitty parade or World War III.
Okay. Now we got to stop now.
Yeah.
Daniel over
Episode
here
15.
brought up a topic he wanted to talk about. He wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it's an absolute great topic. For episode 15 here, yeah, we were brainstorming. I thought, a funny story that recently occurred to me with my son. He was sitting there working on a homework project one night, and he asked me how to spell Pokemon. I was like, "What do you mean how you spell Pokemon? You watch Pokemon like all the time." He's like, "Oh, I'm not watching Pokemon anymore. I'm watching Power Rangers." And I was like, "Wow."
He's traveling the wrong way in time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But at the same time, it was just like, where's the brand loyalty? Where's the when I was a kid, right? It was Batman for years. That's all I watched was Batman and the Justice League. I mean, it's really all I had options was like WB, when I came home from school.
WWF. I think we had that,
Oh, WWF, sure.
which is now WWE.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is?
World Wildlife Federation.
Yeah. They got owned by the World Wildlife Federation. That's a hard one to say.
Is it
Did they get-
Federation? It might be
Yeah.
Foundation.
Oh, Foundation. Yeah.
Might be.
I
I
wish it
think-
was Federation.
I think it was the World Wrestling Federation, which
right.
I'm,
There we go.
yeah.
Did they get sued?
I think they did.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if they were actually sued, or they were just like, you got to change your name.
All I can say, I was a fan before it was WWE.
I was a fan before it was WWE. I mean, like, I guess I had The Rock,
Yeah.
now Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Like I had when you had your binder and then you had the
Yeah.
little folders with the art and stuff on them. And I had The Rock on it back when he had hair. And I think about that now, and it was just like a grown dude running around in his underwear that I was carrying around at school.
Aren't all superheroes just grown men, weird costumes?
Weird underwear.
Yeah,
But they wear clothes under the underwear.
that's
Right.
true.
It's like Doug Funny. No, Quail Man.
I mean, those guys had
Yeah.
oil all over them. That kind of counts as clothing, right?
Yeah,
It keeps them
I
warm.
guess. So like strippers then.
Undertaker
They,
wore
they have
clothes.
clothing on. Tell that to your wife.
Honey,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle had a leotard.
Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
What? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's
I
the
think there were a lot of leotards in that.
he's the World Wrestling Champion.
Didn't? Well, for like WWE.
no, he was like
No,
an
for,
Olympic
the
champion.
Olympics.
Oh, actual wrestling.
Yeah, and
Wrestling.
he won the Olympics with like a broken back. Like actually.
So he got a gold medal. I mean, he didn't win the Olympics.
He won the whole Olympics.
He won it all.
Well, so all right, you're talking about like where everything's going and essentially like how fast everything moves, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, one day we like this and one day we like that and one day we like this. And I feel like a lot of that, I blame a lot of attention span. Well, obviously social media, but I feel like TikTok in particular
Mm.
has just ruined people's brains.
Ruined mine for sure.
Are you on TikTok?
No, but TikTok has many alternatives, right?
Yeah.
Instagram, YouTube, they all have their shorts.
That's true. I mean, and then a lot of times there's like the TikTok videos on like Facebook and stuff, right? But now they have Facebook Shorts or whatever.
Yeah, I don't watch those. I don't go to Facebook.
I know you're on
Substack.
Substack. Pretty soon there's gonna be shorts on there.
Just a bunch of short stories.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't read much on there. I just scroll, scroll and post.
Scroll and post.
I don't know. I think when it comes to content, the thing that you're talking about is it's more of just, so we have non-time-based access,
Yes.
which is new. So when my kid wants to watch Bluey or Peppa Pig or whatever other childish thing she wants to watch, all she has to do is, well, it has to be around 3 o'clock because that's her time to watch TV. But other than that, all she has to do is shout a TV show, and it goes on.
Yeah.
Poof. There it is.
Yeah, my kid, it's funny because we'll be driving in the car and we'll just have the radio on and be like, Dad, put it on, whatever, put it on Frozen, put it on this, put it on that. And I'm like, I don't have my phone plugged in or anything. I don't have it attached to the car in any way. And I'm like, dude, that's not, I mean, I choose, but I don't technically choose. Like, it's a limited choice here.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, but put on the Hot Wheels theme song or something like that. I'm like, dude, I can't. And they just like, it doesn't click to them.
Take them to a
Hot
hotel.
Wheels has a theme song.
Yeah. It's like I'm not going to sing it right now.
Power.
No.
Wheels.
That's a good point.
I don't know if it's a theme song, but it's a Hot Wheels song.
Interesting. So we just got back from a hotel over the last weekend, and that's a different thing for the kids, right? Like the TV, especially in this hotel, like it hadn't been upgraded for a while. So yeah, it was just cable, right? Here's your TV guide. What's coming up? What's playing right now? We watched a lot of Shark Tank.
The kids?
Interesting.
Yeah, the kids got a kick out of
my
it,
kids
right?
will not watch that. I mean, yours are a little bit older than mine.
Sure.
But yeah.
Going back to the free access, yeah. I mean, if they probably won't ever have to really watch a rerun in their life.
That's affected not only kids, but also adults. And I hate, like, so Netflix, like, it was kind of cool at first, right? The binge watching thing.
Yeah.
I hate that. I think that kills
The fun, the enjoyment.
Well, it kills the enjoyment of the show, but it also kills the creativity that goes into the show. Like, right, like it's all these suits being like, bump it out,
Yeah.
like get out as fast as you can. And so like these artists don't have time to go and actually work on the show, like to write the story, to whatever. I saw something today where I think it was like James Gunn was commenting on Marvel, how they essentially have like a timeline of like when they need to start pumping out new movies and stuff. And it's just like this unreasonable time frame. And so they're shooting some of these movies before the script's even done.
And it shows.
Yeah, exactly. But they're still selling freaking billions of dollars, you know?
Yeah, I thought the Thunderbolt movie was actually pretty funny. So kudos to
didn't
them
see
on
that
that
one.
one.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like the
It's the new Avengers.
post Avengers. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, I mean, it shows it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Is that like the gritty? They're like not real great superheroes.
That's how it's like portrayed in the trailers. It's the dude from he's not going to say anything because he's seen it, so he's about to spoil it right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
Spoilers in 5.
It's got Bucky, right? And then the Winter Soldier. He's
Uh-huh.
probably the main Avenger that's in that. And then
It's a dude from Stranger Things,
Black Widow's sister.
the sheriff
Hopper.
Hopper.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
his name
I
again?
love that character.
Yeah.
He plays the Russian dude.
I saw something where he was talking about Stranger Things, right? And he was like essentially saying he enjoyed it in the beginning, but then it's kind of like, okay, you know, we've done it. Why do we need to keep making more? Like,
Right.
let's
Milking
move
the
on to
cow.
the next thing. Like, what is your opinion on his opinion?
I definitely think Stranger Things. It's gone up and down in quality, right? I feel like season 1 was like 10 out of 10.
But I'm not talking about Stranger Things in particular. I'm talking about that mentality.
Oh yeah, like just make it so like you got to find a balance. And I think that's hard because it is a business, but it's art as a business.
Mm-hmm. Like, what's his name? Mark Hamill with Star Wars, right? Like
Yeah.
he fucking hates. I mean, at least he comes off as that he hates Star Wars.
Really?
Right? Like anytime you see him in interviews, he's just like talking shit about it. And like people will ask him questions about the new Star Wars and he's just like, I don't fucking care. Like I'm not in the movie. I don't care.
Yeah, he got burnt because the way they did Luke. And
But he was like that before they even filmed these new ones.
really?
Yeah, he was just because like people always like, you know, he's Joker in the Batman
Yeah.
cartoons or whatever. And he, you know, I'm sure he does plenty of other things, but he's known for that.
Yeah.
Like that was his breakout role, if not his first role. I don't know what his first role was.
I think that probably was his first role.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I think Harrison Ford is the same way.
Harrison
Star
Ford is
Wars.
definitely the same way. He was like a carpenter on movie sets.
Right. But he still hates Star Wars.
Oh, he hates it.
At least that's how he comes off to me when I see him in interviews, like they're talking shit about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little, I don't want to say selfish, but like, I feel like if I got a massive break like that and then it like formed my career and artists are the same way with like songs, right? Like they write a hit song and then people want them to keep playing it at shows and then they'll be like, we're not going to play this fucking song. We played it
Eye of the
forever.
Tiger.
Yeah. But it's like, dude, that made you, like, if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be successful. Like you wouldn't be where you're at.
I get it. I get both sides.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, you should be grateful. And I think it's fine to be like over it, but also like, respect like what it is, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's fine to be over it, but I think the issue is they don't want to be like pigeonholed, and they don't want to feel like they're like, so like look at Daniel Radcliffe, right?
Right.
His entire childhood was defined by Harry Potter. And it was very possible that his entire life would be defined by Harry Potter, which means functionally like his life is over at like 22.
His life is over.
His as
career
as like a creative person, as an artist, whatever you want to consider an actor to be, you know, as a creative force, like he's done the most important thing of his life, and he's still got like 60, 70 more years to live, and he's never going to match the like impact of his role as Harry Potter. And I think, right, you can only rest on your laurels so long. And we like typically in any other field, you would sort of respect people for like wanting to like move on. I don't think it's any different with creatives. Like they want to still feel relevant. And so if your most important thing is something you did in your 20s or 30s, and you are now like pushing 70, you're going to be a little bit like, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm still out here like putting in the work though, guys.
Yeah.
But would you rather be on that end of the spectrum or on the end of the spectrum that you're currently on?
I would like to be Harrison Ford.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, look, man, I get, yes, people keep asking you about the same thing, but like also you got to do that thing. You made a bajillion fucking dollars. You can request as much money as you want now for anything pretty much. You're known for these massive franchises, and like you got to do that cool shit, and then you can still continue to do other things. Maybe they won't be as big as like Star Wars or whatever, but like that doesn't mean you can't go and do other shit. I mean, that's essentially what Daniel Radcliffe is doing, right?
He's killing it. Like,
but he's doing a bunch of like indie films, and he looks like he's like having a blast. He doesn't. I've never seen an interview where he complains about Harry Potter. He seems like one of the few like grateful ones.
Actually,
I know he complains about what's her face, the writer, sometimes.
Sometimes I think, yeah, they're all a little troubled by her.
It's a sensitive topic.
Her views.
Yeah, there was one of them that wasn't. They were just like,
what's his name? The guy who played Draco. He's reprising his role on Broadway.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is it on Broadway?
I think so. Well,
yeah,
it's on stage. I think it's on Broadway.
Well, they're making a new HBO Harry Potter.
No, he's doing a stage version, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But he's not in the HBO one, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to watch remakes.
Yeah.
That's my entire childhood.
I don't know. Is it a remake?
I don't know. Is it a remake?
I don't know.
It's a series, so hopefully they can get a little bit more detailed, because I feel like the Harry Potter movies had to condense a lot from what was in the books. So
I feel like
I'm looking forward to watching it with the kids.
Adaptation is hard. I feel like containing every detail that was in the book is not necessarily the recipe for good on-screen entertainment.
That's how I feel.
Right?
Yeah.
You captured the essence of the thing.
And I feel like they did a great job with Harry Potter doing that.
No doubt.
Yeah. What we were talking about, like the lack of brand loyalty, it is interesting because I think the time issue is sort of significant here, because there is no longer a drive to watch things together at the same time, right? So like,
you mean like with family, friends, or like
with family? No, I mean with society.
With society.
Ooh.
Got it.
So like when Harry Potter was a thing, the movies were coming out and everybody was getting ready.
Yeah.
But now with streaming, nothing's really an event anymore. I mean, personally, I haven't. What's the last movie I saw in theaters? I legit can't remember. I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once with one of my friends, but it was like the third time he had seen it. He was like loving it.
I mean, there's a reason for that. It costs like $300 to take a fucking family to the movie theaters. It's crazy.
Yeah. Gotta go on like their discount ticket Tuesdays.
Yeah,
and stuff
even
like
then
that.
it's still expensive. But and then you got to go on like a 2:00 on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or something, and it's like, okay, who's gonna do that?
Last time I went to a movie, I was on a business trip, and I was like, got a couple hours to kill. go see a movie.
I actually went and saw the Minecraft movie in the theaters just because the kids really wanted to see it. And I was like, oh, I'll take them, surprise them to go see that.
Yeah, we streamed that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is like the technology that we have now, you know, it's like you have like legit full on awesome surround sound systems. People can get a TV any freaking size they want, you know? And by the time you buy that whole setup, you could go to the movies like 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, TVs are so cheap. And I still watch everything on my laptop because
I cannot do that.
my wife thinks that like I could watch TV at like basically just like I'm suffering how quiet it is. Like I can barely hear it. And she's like, why is it so loud?
You know, you can get those headphones that
connect to the TV.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've been meaning to bring up this technology that I don't know if is real or not, but I heard they have a technology that can send sound directly to an individual's ear, like without any type of earbud or headphone or anything.
I mean, I've heard of directional sound before.
Yeah.
But not necessarily to somebody's ear. That's more of just like, I'm going to send it down this straight path.
Yeah. No, what I'm talking about is like only that individual could hear it.
Interesting. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know how real that is. I've seen it pop up a couple times. Hey, if you can look it up, you can look it up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've heard of this. I think, yeah, you could focus sound waves, shoot at somebody's ear, and they would hear it.
But I think they could do it like in a crowd.
Right.
He's gonna find out. He's gonna debunk me here.
He's gonna bunk you, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, there are technologies that can transmit audio to a single individual, even in crowded environment, without the need for headphones. These technology utilize techniques like focused ultrasound beams or directional sound systems.
That's kind of crazy though. Like think about people where there's like, I'm hearing voices in my head.
Right?
You know?
That's a Black Mirror episode.
I know. It probably is, or if it's not, it's going to be.
The real question is, can they do it while you have headphones on? Because then you could just block them out.
Yeah, I mean, or earplugs.
Or like a helmet.
Yeah. Everybody's going to walk around with the tinfoil helmet.
Everybody's going to be Magneto in the future.
Yeah. Why are you wearing a helmet?
Going back to the entertainment stuff though, like I heard that, I don't know if it's Netflix, but there was a couple of the networks that we're talking about because they've dug themselves into a hole, which is releasing
content.
Yeah, just splooging it all over the place.
Just splooge.
You know? And so they're talking about going back and
slowing down,
releasing it weekly, which I think is better. You have the anticipation of the show. You don't, it gives the team more time to like actually put effort into it. There's like a reason. I feel like you're not wasting the money. You know what I mean? Like they're spending time using the money that's going into the show properly. I never even thought about what you talked about, where it's kind of like a community thing where everybody experiences it. I feel like the last time I experienced that was Game of Thrones.
That's not that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago, but it's like one of the few shows where didn't they hold off on releasing the final show episode or something like that, and from the rest of the season? I think like the season came out. I could be totally talking out of my ass.
Yeah, I mean, from my recollection, Game of Thrones was released on like a weekly cadence.
Was it?
Yeah. And some shows still get released that fashion. I mean, Disney, they'll release the first 2 episodes of their new hit show, and then it'll go on to like a weekly release schedule.
Yeah, I prefer that, honestly. And I feel like you can enjoy more shows that way.
You can enjoy 7 shows.
7 shows. Yeah, and that's all I need.
That's all I need.
Apparently Disney's going back to like traditional hand animation too.
Yeah, they got a new movie coming out that's going to utilize, I think it's El Gato or something.
Oh, yeah.
And they just bought Hulu, so.
They bought Hulu?
Hulu is now.
No, these fucking guys are buying everything.
Yeah, it's going to be, one day we're just going to be right back to cable, right? One large, giant
I saw
sum of money.
I saw something, and this was like a long time ago, where I saw somebody joking around about it. They're like, man, it's like I have this streaming service over there and this and this and this. I wish somebody would just like take something where they just put all of them together in one spot, and then you could just pay for them like that. And like, so cable. Like,
how much were people paying for cable back in like the 90s?
I got up to like $200 in like the early 2000s.
Man, our parents were living large.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford $200.
But all the streaming services right now are about that, right? Like if you add them all up, it's like $15 a piece. How many streaming services are there?
You're lucky if they're 15.
Are they more now?
Yeah. I
What-
think Disney's like 20, 25.
Is Disney 20? I mean, Netflix is still, is Netflix what, 17?
I think Netflix is 18.
Yeah.
How much could a gallon of milk be? $50?
Now, yeah. I don't know. We can't afford a gallon of milk anymore. We have to get the half gallons.
Oh, you didn't go soy?
We do. We actually have to have all different milks in the house. We have soy, full fat, and half.
Dude, I bought some yogurt the other day. Some like sugar-free yogurt. I brought it home. I looked at the ingredients and it said ultra processed milk. It was like,
Proud of it. Like mega ultra processed.
yeah, it was like the first ingredient was like it had the word ultra for sure. And it was basically like, this is not even milk anymore. It's just like pale water.
Going back to what you were saying, do you think brand loyalty was ever actually a thing though? Like I remember watching a bunch of different things around similar
same.
times. Like I had Power Rangers and Pokemon.
You're double dipping.
Huh? Yeah.
No, I had channel loyalty.
Channel, like Nickelodeon, because that was the only kid show. Nick at Night.
Cartoon Network. Sir.
Cartoon Network. Okay. But see, I watched both.
What a
Because Cartoon Network was like the nighttime ones, and then Nickelodeon was like the daytime ones.
Cartoon Network had daytime shows.
I don't know. I remember staying up late and watching like Dexter's Laboratory, and like Johnny Bravo, and
Dee-dee!
was Ren and Stimpy. I think Ren and Stimpy was.
I wasn't allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
My mom thought it was inappropriate.
Yeah, I somehow got away with watching like Beavis and Butthead for a little bit, and then I think my mom like saw what it was and was like, "You cannot watch this,
Stimpy."
And then I had already gotten sucked into that, so I just moved on to South Park from there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the pipeline, huh?
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy to Beavis and Butthead to South Park.
Ren and Stimpy is the marijuana of cartoons.
The gateway cartoon.
And what does that make South Park?
South
meth?
Park. Yeah.
Dude, I'm pretty sure somebody tried to buy drugs from me this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, so at
What were you
lunch,
selling?
nothing. I was like a little nervous he was going to attack me. So I spend my lunch. I work near downtown LA. There's like a little cafe whose parking lot I sit in behind my car in a fold out camp chair and just, write on my computer. I had just gotten there and this guy is like walking across the parking lot. I park in the very deepest corner of the parking lot. And he like walks around my car into the wood chip area and he's like looking at me and he looks like at the very like most generous homeless person, but probably like a tweaker. And he's looking at me. He's fortunately kind of scrawny, which made me feel more comfortable. But still,
I mean,
like,
if he's buying drugs, he's probably going to be on the scrawny side.
yeah. He's like looking at me, but he pauses, and then he like he walks past me, but like is still kind of like getting closer to me. I'm like, what is this guy doing? I could feel my heart, the adrenaline kicked in. Like I might have to fight someone right now. Full disclosure, I've never been in a fight except with a dog or a baby.
Wait, what?
Yeah, let's rewind on that second.
Well,
How bad did the baby kick your butt?
I don't like it.
I mean, getting into a fight with the dog is no joke.
I have a scar.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. What the fuck?
Yeah. I wasn't in a fight with a dog. I broke up a fight between two dogs.
Oh, yeah, you don't do that.
Well, they were both my dogs.
Well,
So
whatever
just
one
let one-
survives. Survival of the fittest.
anyway, so this guy's like coming closer to me. He's like looking at me like he's clearly focused his attention on me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm not wearing shoes because it's very hot. So
You probably thought you were homeless. You're bald.
I
You
mean,
have
I
no
was,
shoes. You're walking around a parking lot by yourself.
He has a laptop he's typing on. So
Oh, you have a laptop.
and I was eating fine 90% cocoa chocolate, which was melting because it's very hot. I was like, hey, like, I don't want any trouble.
Wait, did you say this to him?
I said it to him because I'm not gonna like let him just like stare at me. And I'm like, hopefully I'm bald enough that I'm a little intimidating.
Did you say this to him?
I didn't say that. I wasn't like soliloquizing. He was very hard to understand, but
different language or just slurred?
just mumbly mouth. He was mumble rapping.
Exactly.
Exactly. but like kind of like eagerly.
You look like you sell drugs. You probably reminded him of somebody he knew.
Yeah. So he comes like pretty close to me, like 4 or 5 feet away, trying to talk to me. I was like, look, I like turned my chair around to face him so like he can't like sneak up on me. I was like, look, I don't know what you want. I don't have anything. If that's what you're after, like I'm not doing anything. Just eat my lunch. And he's like, no, yeah, like that. And then he like pulls up his sleeve and it's covered in track marks.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, this guy is definitely on drugs or wants drugs.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing you can do in that situation is like it's funny that you're bringing this up because I was literally just watching a video, but I mean, I've been around people like that.
Yeah.
But even if it's not like somebody who's on drugs, when there's somebody that you just are getting a vibe of where like
bad vibe,
the bad vibe, like this dude's out for something, you want to make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
Right. Like you don't want to like look away because then that's making you kind of look like prey.
Yeah.
Right. So you make eye contact, but not for like a long time, right? Like you just acknowledge them and then you always kind of like, you want to leave the situation.
Yeah.
So kind of go somewhere else if you can.
Yeah.
And keep an eye on them. Like whether you're just kind of peeking over your shoulder or looking around in like windows or whatever, but just keep an eye so you know if they're following you or whatever. But you want them to know that you see them, that you're there, whatever. And you can like, if it's somebody who maybe looks like they want to fight you or whatever, like you can acknowledge them, like nod at them.
Yeah.
But don't nod up. Because nodding up is like,
sup.
Yeah.
Sup.
Yeah. Like that. Like you're trying to start something.
Yeah,
if you nod down, nodding down is just like an acknowledgement of like you're there.
I understand the language of the streets.
Yeah. But then also if like you feel uncomfortable looking in their eyes, look like not in between their eyes, look at like their eyebrows.
Look at the unibrow.
It gives the impression that you're looking at their eyes, but it also makes you look like empty.
Interesting.
Right. So it makes you look a little intimidating, like they can't really read you. Yeah.
I think we both tried doing each other at the same time. It was just confusing.
But yeah, I mean, drug addicts are a whole different like ball game, right? Like I think the biggest thing is to like not sit there and engage with them enough.
Yeah.
And just like calmly just be like, don't say anything about aliens or God.
So what do you think about aliens and God?
And just
do you think God's an alien?
A Scientologist. So I'm pretty sure I saw a dead homeless person today.
Hang on. I want to hear about the dead homeless person, but before did he just like walk away after that?
Not quite. So, okay. So I'm sitting behind my car. I back in, I open the hatchback because it's an SUV and I pull out my seat and I sit behind there because I got the shade, right? So that's where I sit. So he's like next to the car. He's talking to me. He after he shows me his track marks, he's like, look, he shows me his credit card. I'm like, does he expect me to have like a Square reader? So I was like, look,
dude, I wonder if they're carrying around like Apple Pay, whatever the fucking Square.
Just tap my phone, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was like, look, I don't have anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at my arms.
I got nothing. Look.
Yeah.
And well, I do have a little rash here. But that's fine. It's nothing. It'll go away. Lamisil. Anyway.
Sponsored by
Lamisil. But also
just kidding.
Lotrim and Ultra, if that's your thing.
Sponsored by old people.
Yeah. So I basically did exactly what you like. That was my instinct. It was like, well, I can't let him think I don't fucking see him like staring at me. But the first thing I said to him was, I don't want any trouble. Right. So he knows like, I don't want to fight you, but also I said it in a way I was like, I'm not afraid of you, but like, go away. Right. But I didn't tell him go away. That was just the vibe I was trying to give off. Like, hey, look, I'm just trying to do my thing. We don't have anything to do with each other. Here I am. So I guess I get that across to him. But then he goes, sits down against the trash can like 10 feet away, just like looking at me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move my chair back out behind the car so he can't see me anymore. But I'm going to like, he can see my feet, right? So he knows like I'm sitting there and I'm just going to do my thing. I'm going to be like 50% on edge. And I sat there like that trying to.
Maybe that's what he was trying to pay you for.
He wants me to be on edge.
To see your feet.
Oh, well, you can have it for free. And I sat there for like 5 minutes and then I reached out with my laptop reflective surface
Oh, you were using a reflective surface.
to peer around the car,
Look at you.
and he was gone.
Huh.
And
And who's right behind you?
he was not right behind me because I was going like this periodically.
Oh, so yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I escaped with my life, and here I am. And now
In
we
this
can hear
universe.
Little, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that's where I was going. Little do you know, you died, and now.
Little did he know that means we're in a story.
What do you mean?
Little did he know. That's dramatic irony.
Oh, okay,
Strangers in fiction.
yeah,
Okay.
great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know. Little did he know.
That's the only movie. That's the movie that made me like Will Ferrell.
What movie were we talking about?
Stranger Than Fiction.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's
The Kooks.
Never seen it.
Come
yeah,
on.
it's basically a movie. Spoilers for Stranger Than Fiction. He
1995.
no, yeah, it's like basically
2001.
he's like hearing voices in his head.
He's hearing one voice.
He's
Karen
hearing a
Eiffel.
voice in his head, and it's basically narrating his life. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And then it's essentially this real life author who's like writing a story, but she's writing a story about his life. She doesn't know that she's writing about his life. He doesn't know that she exists until he sees her on some news thing, and then he goes and like hunts her down. And
But does she
Crick.
write the
because
fact
she was going
that
to kill him, right?
Yeah.
She was going to kill him in the story, and he's just like, "No." And then everybody's like, "But that's how the story's got to end. It like has to end that way." And he's like, "What the fuck? This is my life."
The story's no good unless you die.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
That's the way it's got to be.
And it was a serious movie. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't, screaming and yelling like a giant toddler in that movie.
It was Will Ferrell's Click.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. I loved Click too. That was a great
That's
movie.
a good movie.
Fuck, man, made me cry. I was thinking about that yesterday.
Harold Crick picked out a very ordinary tie. Little did he know that later that day he would be hit by a bus.
Maybe we should just stop
That's-
doing a podcast and have
Just
Jeremy
do-
narrate things
Narrate
in
movies.
in a false bad British accent.
Absolutely.
False.
That wasn't that bad. That was
Bad.
okay.
We'll probably be more
It
successful.
didn't even sound Australian.
Probably. Oh, is she Australian?
No, exactly. That's my
Oh.
point. Whenever I do British, it eventually falls into Australian, mate.
So homeless people.
Yeah, dead homeless
Yeah,
people.
how's
Tell
Did
me
I
that.
did I tell you about the homeless lady that I ran into in Santa Monica?
Not she
With the
didn't die,
car?
did she?
Huh?
Wait,
With your
what?
car?
Did I talk about that on the podcast?
You hit somebody? You killed somebody,
Yeah.
Aaron?
You heard it here first, folks.
No. Yeah, so I'm walking around in Santa Monica and I'm like just finishing up a meeting. And if you've heard this story before, fast forward to this. But yeah, so I'm like walking back and this lady just like walks up to me. She starts talking to me and she just, I don't know, says something maybe about the weather, basic conversation, whatever. And she just kind of looked relatively normal, like slightly older lady. And I just thought it was just a random person like striking up conversation. I was like, okay. And she's like continuing to walk with me, just like kind of talking because we're going the same direction. And then I like go into this parking structure where my car was parked. And then she stops and all of a sudden she just like, so, can I have some money for a ride? I'm trying to get a ride to this town or whatever. And I'm like, oh great. Okay. This is a homeless lady. And I'm like, sorry, I don't have any money. Like my whole thing. Like I don't carry money on me. I just have like a card on me, a credit card or whatever.
They're very
she's
big
like-
guns. So
Yeah,
don't you try anything.
And then all of a sudden she's just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to get to this city because there's a homeless shelter in the city that I want to go to. And then it's where we live, right? It's like where we currently live.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. And then she like, well, I can pay you. And then she like opens up this little wallet that has like $2 in it. And she's like, I just don't have enough to catch the bus back, but like, would you give me a ride to where I'm going? And I'm just like sitting there for a second. And it was like this super awkward silence. And I'm just like staring at her and I literally look her up and down like 5 times. And I'm just like thinking in my head,
Is she going to stab me?
is she gonna stab me? Is she gonna kill me?
Where's the axe?
Yeah. and I like look her up and down and then I'm like, it was like very awkward amount of time. And I'm just like, I feel like I could probably take her. Like I could probably take her if she like tried to do
Yeah.
anything to me. And so against my better judgment, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? Yeah, I'll give you a ride. And so I drive this lady and it's like like an hour drive, 45 minutes to an hour drive
Sure.
when I drive her
Depending on
back.
traffic.
Yeah. And she didn't kill me. And
Well, in this universe.
yeah, in this universe, she may or may not had scabies. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Before she got into the car, she was like, I just got out of the hospital. See, and she like pulls up her arm and has like the hospital like wristband on her. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so I drove her home. And this lady was like super nice. She was very intelligent, We had a great conversation on the way back. Just, I don't remember, but it's been a while. So like, I think there was like politics and just education. And she was talking about like her son and how her son's kind of like going off the deep end or whatever. And that she wants him to do better. And, I don't know. I felt bad for this lady. And like in my mind, I was like, well, you know, if you can't give a kind of elderly lady like a ride somewhere, like what does that mean for humanity?
Sure.
You know, like I'm not going to just leave this lady. It was like cold. It was like pretty cold out and she was just like looking for shelter. And then I got home and I told my wife and she's like, what the fuck did you do?
You accepted what form of payment?
Yeah. No, she was like, she was surprised, but also like kind of not surprised, but like also mildly disappointed, but like not disappointed.
We're gonna have to get the car cleaned.
Yeah, exactly. She was just like, what if she had scabies?
We'll just leave. Just don't go in the car for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I've got a bottle of Lysol. I'll just spray it down.
What the hell are scabies?
It's
Aren't you
it's like
you're in for a fun surprise.
aren't scabies like essentially like bed bugs, like intense bed bugs?
No, they're skin mites.
Yeah, like bed bugs.
Yeah, well, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're mites that live on your skin in like the outer layers of your skin. They're itchy. They're very, very, very contagious.
And it's like mild. It's like common in homeless people. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere that's like where you can't like clean. They're common in like mascot costumes. Like,
really?
Yeah.
What?
Makes sense.
There've been like a couple of scabies outbreaks at Disneyland among the like
Hotels get them sometimes, like in the hotel beds and stuff.
Well, just don't sleep in the homeless rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might have gotten scabies one time in my life.
Do you have scabies right now?
No,
Get out of my chair.
No. We missed our flight at JFK.
Oh.
So
And we had to like sleep at
rode
the
a
airport,
donkey.
but they don't let you sleep. So you had to like, we kept moving around. Eventually we got to a part of the airport that is open 24 hours a day. And there's like a closed subway. And my wife and I just kind of fell asleep at these chairs and tables. And for like a couple weeks after that, I had this weird rash, like in my, like the elbow joint.
Oh.
And of course, when like by the time I went to go see a doctor, it like cleared up that same day.
Scabies
That's
is
how it
not going
works.
to clear up on its own. You got to kill that shit with like tea tree oil, which smells terrible, by the way.
No, it doesn't. It smells great. Tea
To each
tree
their
oil?
own.
Yeah.
They're not great, but it's not terrible.
It's like a fucking hammer in the nose.
I've smelled worse.
I smell worse right now.
I think you can get some worse smelling things. Oh yeah, dead homeless guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get back to the.
Way to bury the lead.
No, I mean like so. We were driving home today from the Long Beach Aquarium.
Where they keep the fishes and stuff.
Yeah, where they keep the fish and the octopus. We saw a couple giant octopus. And pretty cool.
Octopi or octopus?
Looking. One octopus. So one octopus and then like a smaller octopus. So two octopi, but different. I don't know species.
I could go for pie.
It's not
I saw flamboyance when I was at the San Diego Zoo, which is a flock of flamingo.
Oh.
Flamboyance.
Is it really?
Yeah. Fun fact I learned at San Diego
I was like,
Zoo.
are we going into gay territory? I
Well-
don't want to comment.
But back to the dead homeless.
If we can.
Anyways, so yeah, so we're driving back and I see, you know how the homeless people kind of stand on the corner sometimes and they stand like at the intersection where the light stops and they ask for money and they have the sign or whatever.
Yeah.
But I saw like a pair of legs just kind of like laying down at the curb and there was kind of a wall blocking it. And I can see like some knees up and an arm kind of down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something looks off about those knees. It just looks off.
The angle is funny.
Yeah, I don't know. It just looked weird. And I was like saying it to my wife. I was like, I don't know. Something's off about that homeless person over there. She's like, probably sleeping. And it's like super hot out, like right in the middle of the sun. And I'm like, it's a pretty bad place to fall asleep. Dude's going to wake up and look like a lobster, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously you're not in your right mind if you're loaded up on drugs or whatever, but who knows? So the light turns green and we drive through and I kind of slow down when I'm turning the corner and I see him and he was just like, his body was just in a weird like angle, you know. I feel like there's no way you're gonna fall asleep where your body's like kind of, I don't want to say contorted, but like he's laying there, his knees are up, his arms are definitely like, it's hard to describe, but he was laying there, his face looked empty, pretty sure he was dead. There's a possibility he could have just completely like loaded himself up on drugs like right there on the corner, which,
Sure.
you know, who knows with these homeless people or whatever, but like I've seen some people loaded up on drugs. I'm pretty sure he was dead.
Did you
Yeah.
call an ambulance or anything?
I figured somebody else probably did. Usually I do that.
Classic bystander syndrome.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't want
right?
to laugh at that, but usually I do, but I was like, just cause I wasn't sure, I was like, I don't know, I feel weird. And
And at this point, time is really not an issue.
I mean, yeah, I guess and if he overdosed, I guess, and somebody came with some like Narcan or something and saved him. But I was driving. My kids were like in the car making a bunch of noise, and
Yeah.
I
it's
wasn't
hard.
going to go and get into a wreck, pulling out the phone. And
Have your kids call.
I know.
Excuse
At
me,
some
officer. I think there's a dead guy.
But I was actually thinking about that today. Like it's not funny, but I was thinking about that before we even saw him, that it's kind of crazy the amount of people there are in the world, especially like in California. Like there's so many people around just everywhere, but you never see a dead body anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I've thought about that from time to time. I mean, we're very good at hiding death.
Yeah.
The thing that got me thinking it was probably over a year ago, but I do remember thinking about it, is like the lack of like dead birds, because there's so many birds about.
I see dead. Well,
I've seen
sure,
plenty
I
of dead
see them,
birds,
but yeah, maybe you should see more of them. Yeah.
So like I Googled, I was like,
Something's probably eating them.
what happens to all the dead birds? And it was like they get eaten by cats and dogs.
Yeah.
And then when I started paying attention to it, I noticed that there's like a fair number of birds that just get smushed by cars.
Sure.
Yeah. So you just see like a pile of flat feathers in the road, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a dead
Yeah.
bird.
Yeah. I feel bad about that. But there's also people out there accidentally hitting deers, and if you're RFK, you're hitting bears.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Put a coin in the jar.
So I know we always try to not go political, but we always do a little bit. I guess it's not really political, but you wanted another topic in on this one.
No, well, so it's relevant. So I was listening to the science fiction podcast, which I highly recommend, even though he's technically our competitor.
We don't have any competitors here.
Yeah.
It's true. We're in a league of our own.
Great movie. So where did you want to go?
Oh, society, the future of society.
The future of society.
So I was listening to the science fiction podcast, and he was talking about like the different forms of isms. We've got our current capital ism. There's socialism, communism, and fascism. And he's sort of like talking about the
they
various
are
isms.
all isms.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've never noticed that.
Democracy is not an ism.
Democracism.
Democracism.
Yeah.
What's for a king? What's that?
Monarchism.
Monarchy.
Interesting. So we live in a democratic republic that is also capitalist in nature.
I think we're basically an oligarchy now.
Yeah.
No, we said this last time. It's like a techagarchy, right?
Technogarchy.
Technogarchy.
So he, like, one of the things that the host of that podcast, his goal, as he states, is to find a mythos for the future, right? And he's very British, and he talks like he's in a some sort of documentary.
And he talks that slow too.
He really does.
Do you listen to this
You
at
have to
like
get used to it.
5x?
No, I don't. I got used to it. And I kind of like it now.
I couldn't do it.
Shout out to Damo.
I mean, it was interesting stuff, but it was a little slow for me. But you probably can listen to it at 5x. So
I'll probably
I didn't think about that at the time. I've been watching every YouTube video at 2x now.
That's weird.
I know.
I would run out of videos.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
He was going through like the history, and he was like saying that in his opinion, essentially, like if we rank the various forms of like social organization out of 100, like the best we've ever achieved, the very, very best is like a 4, right? In terms of like human
Out of 10? Out of 100.
out of 100.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so you go back through the stages, and he was like, well, first we had, slavery, and wherever, you had like a few people who were like in power, and everybody else worked for them. You had slaves, and then you had like feudalism, probably mixed with slavery, right? And then, yeah, it's like kind of better because the serfs, at least they're not fully, being controlled by by the ruling powers, and you got the knights and it, it's interesting looking at it through a lens of story, because you can sort of like assign like which of these isms like various stories fall into it, and it's kind of interesting. I'm actually reading Idols of the King, which is like an Arthurian epic poem or series of epic poems. I'm trying to be smart now. Fart now. Fart smart. Smart fart. Anyway, don't you cut that out. I want people to know I'm human.
You sound like my 6-year-old. He wants to be fart smart for sure.
Dude, Luna, my kid, she has figured out how to make fart sounds with cups now, and she's
got a future.
Like just
a bright one.
Like sliding the cup.
No,
on the
you
counter?
like suck on it, and it sounds very real.
Wait till she discovers her armpit.
She can't do it. I tried to show it to her many times.
Yeah, maybe it's just a guy thing. I don't know.
No, she's just too small. Her armpit has no air holes yet.
No volume.
She'll get there.
Yeah. Anyway, so go back to like Arthurian times, right? The ideals of chivalry, right? And like this is the same as Lord of the Rings, right? You have like the noble king, and this was like an ideal, right? You like the best society in their mind is like a society with a benevolent king, like King Arthur. That was like the pinnacle of the things they could think of. And all the knights are honorable and chivalrous, and they fight the bad guys. And this was like the best thing they could think of. But if you...
None of them were dicks.
Well...
Some of them were dicks, but they were honorable dicks.
Right.
Right.
Except for, wasn't there a situation where one of them tried to steal his wife?
I'm not there yet.
And definitely don't bring up conflicts of religious beliefs.
Oh, yeah. Also, Arthur was racist against wizards.
What?
According to the kind of WB-esque show.
Well, that doesn't make...
I used to love that show, Merlin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember he was like, they hated magic. I mean, but that was the thing, like witches and stuff, right? Like it was like magic was a no-no.
And that's why we don't have magic in the world anymore.
But then Merlin helped Arthur.
Merlin like basically raised Arthur. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, see, in the show, it wasn't that. In the show, they were like the same age.
That's wrong. Merlin
That's
is
wrong.
false. And so like, and Lord of the Rings is the same, right? Think about like the goal in Lord of the Rings is to re-crown, spoilers, Aragorn, right? Who is like the king, who like he's the rightful king of Gondor, right? And he's supposed to be king. And if only we can get the right guy back in the chair, all will be right in the world, right? This is like the ideal that they're aiming for, is to have the benevolent king. And some people argue that this is like fascist, which I think that's kind of like a weird conflation. But like if you think about like some of the technical explanations of what fascism is, which is like blood and soil, right? So like your lineage and your land, right? Then yeah, it's kind of right. Like we want the royal blood leading on the royal land, kind of thing. And so you cycle up, right? And he was talking about how he was complaining that boomers, I'm curious what you think about this, that boomers look back at the bounty of their youths and they conflate it with capitalism. They say, look at all that capitalism has done for us. It made our lives wonderful. Houses are cheap. We can go to the movies for 50 cents. Whatever. We have healthcare. We have da 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 da. And he was saying that no, that's actually wrong. Like basically, capitalism ended at like the end of World War II. Like what you had after the New Deal was effectively like socialism or social democracy, right? And we had like socialism up until like the 1980s. At which point, like Gen X was around, and then they got screwed. And then,
how did we have socialism? Like what aspects?
Social Security, right? Unemployment. You have like social welfare programs that are taking care of people. Obviously, like people still had to have jobs, but the government was doing things that directly benefit the citizens. Yes, you have to like put into the government, otherwise society doesn't function. But you were putting in and directly like benefiting as a society of like people Whereas like now the entire goal of like one half of our government, arguably like kind of both of the political parties, is just like dismantling all of that, right? Entitlements. We don't like entitlements. We don't want people living on welfare. We, all that stuff. Like they want to cut the budget because, why should my tax dollars go for somebody to lay on their ass all day? That kind of thing.
Except for their like future family is entitled to their money.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the inheritance thing. Like what it's basically like the old money versus like new money type of thing, right? Like,
yeah, the old money gets to sit there and compound because we force businesses that are publicly traded to continue to grow, even if it's not necessarily healthy for them to do so. Like America's just not cool with status quo. Nobody can just
that drives
maintain.
Me crazy to where it's like, you can't just be cool.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay, like we're doing well. Let's just chill. No, you got to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And this allows for those that have money to really not need to worry about money because their money just keeps growing.
Assume we have a brief period of like successful socialism for like 40 years until the 80s, at which I guess capitalism reasserts itself. He didn't really explain that part, but I guess that's what it would be, right? And so boomers are like really protective and proud of capitalism because look at all it gave them. But what they're actually confusing for capitalism is socialism, or at least a degree of socialism. And yet, if you use that word around so many Americans, it's like a dirty word. Like they conflate socialism with like communism, which is Red Scare and all that. I think Bernie is like considers himself a democratic socialist. The host of the podcast is very far on the left. In his mind, like socialism is better than capitalism, but it still has its flaws. That's why he says that's like the pinnacle that we've reached of like human. Like, what's the goal of society? Is to like give humans like meaningful, good lives, right? I mean, wouldn't you think that's what it's for? Like,
I think it depends on who you are. Right?
No, I'm asking you. Like,
for me, yes, but I think a lot of people, especially right now with how polarized everything is, I don't think a lot of people think that way. I mean, we were just talking about homeless people earlier,
right?
And a lot of people don't care about homeless people or whatever, and they're just kind of like whatever. They're just a nuisance.
Yeah. But like if it was not a drain, like if it didn't impact them, because I think people are fundamentally selfish. I think that's generally true. Like there's degrees. I think the argument that people are like purely selfish is wrong, because I think people have like a degree of altruism. Some people do, not other people, not all people. Your average person does possess a degree of like unselfish virtue, right? They also possess a degree of selfishness. It's not natural.
Sure, right.
Like, and so if you told somebody we could help that person, it's not going to affect you. It's not going to cost you any more in taxes. It's not going to, make your life any worse. You'd be like, yeah, sure, go for it, help them, right? Like they're not going to say like, no, fuck that guy.
But for me, I'm even like cool if it does cost more in taxes, to
Right.
where if I know my money is actually being used properly. But I think that's the issue right now is a lot of people, rightfully so, assume the money is not being used properly,
Right.
because it's not a lot of the time. And then we're being jinked over by, insider trading and shit like that. If you have money in investments and they're just stealing it away from you and whatever. Like, meanwhile, like our city in particular, people are complaining about fix the streets. Like, you guys can't even fix the fucking streets with our money, So it's like, how do we, when I go to the store and like, do you want to round up for charity for blah, blah, blah? I'm always like, no.
We'll never do that because
I don't know what you're doing with that money. I'd rather do it myself to something directly.
You should never, this is a PSA, you should never ever donate to like a retail business or whatever, because what they will do is they will take your donation. Thank you very much. They will donate it. They'll probably donate it in their own name. And then they will use it as a tax write-off. So what they're doing is they're taking your donation to write off their own taxes.
Yeah. To whereas you could actually use it as a tax write-off.
Way to make me feel real bad about all my rounding up, guys.
Yeah.
No, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I do it every time.
Do you really?
every time.
Yeah. And this is what's unfortunate is society is rigged to get you, right? Like they're preying on people's altruism to where like, well, Daniel's going to do the right thing. So we can trust he's going to do that. And we're going to take advantage of that situation in one way or another to benefit ourselves.
What a rube.
I also use smile.amazon because like 5% of your purchase go to charity.
Oh,
Interesting.
No. I think the right thing to do is to just like donate your time. Right? Like then you know exactly what's
Sounds like a cheap ass response to me. No, I mean, time is your most valuable asset. I mean, if you can donate your time, but I guess I donate my time to the local Little League.
I mean, that's a form.
God, that's taking up a lot of my
I'm
time.
sure. Yeah.
I've thought about that. I literally couldn't imagine now, but in the future, I feel like it would be cool to do like free art classes or writing classes, something like that for like people around. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, even to you, maybe that sounds like you said, Little League, like you're like, oh, that's not really donating my time. But it's like you're helping provide a space for kids to like not, obviously they're little kids right now, but as they get older, they're going and doing something healthy with their time and they're not going out buying drugs from Jeremy while he's sitting in a parking lot.
Jeremy.
Hey, Mr. Jeremy, can I buy some drugs from you? Do you like Bluey too?
So what do you think is a society that is able to function and benefit us the most?
So this gets at where I was going, which is so his argument is essentially capitalism, right? If feudalism is a 2, slavery is like a fucking 0, and capitalism is a 3, and socialism is a 4.
I'm sorry. How is on a scale of 100?
Yeah. So
how is slavery a 3?
So he's saying,
and the concept of you can make your own way in this world a 4.
So he's saying essentially that we are so far from reaching the potential of society to benefit humanity that we haven't even we're not even at 10. Like there's still look around. Yes, you can make your own way in the world. Some people do.
Yeah.
But
it leaves others in the dust.
I mean,
some
guy tried to buy drugs from me today. Was it today? Let me say.
So I guess the point there is, right, in capitalism, right? I mean, I think capitalism boils down to either you build your own business or you invest in businesses in the form of stocks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anybody who does investment know that if you're selling stock to make a profit, expecting that stock to go down, there's some sucker that's buying that stock from you, expecting it to go up. Yeah.
Some people I don't think about that though, right? Like they're just thinking about themselves. They're not thinking about the other end of it.
Yeah. And that's
there's other people. There's other people that are definitely thinking about the other end of it, like hedge funds.
Oh yeah. There are people actively manipulating the dumb money.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder who that is.
Hey, don't look at me.
So I mean, so did the podcast get into like theoretical possibilities?
So he said, I mean, I haven't finished the episode, but he's actively in his mind, his podcast is about criticism of science fiction, which also includes fantasy in his mind. He's looking for great ideas from writers, like books that tell us.
Let's hash it out.
Where we're going.
Yeah.
So what I want to know, first of all, do you accept or disagree with the premise that if you had a functionally socialist society, like a functional socialist society, it would be morally just objectively superior to capitalism? Like if you had a society that takes care of people, essentially.
What societies are currently socialists that are functioning completely socialist?
I think it's got to be a spectrum. I don't think a society exists right now that is purely socialist.
What is Denmark?
I'm not an expert on this, so please forgive me, anyone who knows what they're talking about. But yeah, so you can have socialist policies without being a fully socialist society, I think. So Yeah, it's going to be a spectrum. I think the northern, like the Nordic countries, you're getting up there. Although somebody was posting about this recently, and people were like pushing back. Oh no, that was about teachers. That they said like teachers were paid like doctors, which is not true. But yeah, I think those countries look out for their people, right? Like much more than we do here.
Amen.
I think we have two conflicting urges in our society, in the American psyche. On the one hand, we have like, help your brother, but on the other hand, we have, like rugged individualism,
Hoard.
bootstraps, make your own way, forge your path. Everybody has the same opportunities, but if you fuck it up, it's your own fault.
We have to look out as Americans. We have to look out for the entire world, Jeremy.
Pax
Okay.
Americana. I know what you're talking about.
That's why our budget is so effed.
Soft power. We are exercising our political.
Perhaps
will.
we can make this a future podcast episode where we actually come to the table with concepts of how we could improve.
Top of your head. Socialism's a 4. What's a 5? How do we get to 5? Get us to 5, Daniel, right now.
Great. Yeah, don't put me on the spot or anything. You guys mentioned the fact that we don't have any like real understanding of where our tax dollars go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in the next 100 years, with the advent of technologies, AI, blockchain, the ability to have a distributed ledger that says, all right, here's where all your stuff is. You can eventually have the program run, all right, here's where your tax dollars literally went.
But then how will we?
And then you can back tack that a little bit and be like, all right, we can start voting for where our dollars go a little bit better.
I was going to say that's something that, first of all, I don't know. I'm off and on with like the crypto thing. Like it's just so janky. I mean,
So I think what Daniel would say is you should separate crypto from blockchain. Am I right?
Okay.
I would say, yeah, it's like the original websites.
But even the blockchain stuff is kind of janky as it stands.
Okay, let's just look at it this way, right? It's an instant worldwide recognition of the same information.
Mm-hmm.
WW.
Right? It's unchangeable until, quantum computers break the cryptography of it.
Right, which apparently is like five years down the road.
And there's solutions around that as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is a step towards better, right? I mean, if we had the ability to do this, then we have the ability to create, voting mechanisms for us all to see our vote, to see our raindrop in the flood, right? To see where our money goes. There's definitely dark sides to it too, right? Because technically, if things go one way, you have absolutely no privacy of how you spend your money, right? Right? Cash, I can go buy whatever I want, and government has no idea where I spent that, right? If they come out with a central or CBDC, they could theoretically see everything you buy with that.
So maybe
Yeah, but technically, if you're talking blockchain stuff, it's supposed to be your like wallet, whatever, but like nobody actually knows who you are.
Yeah, different protocols have different ways of getting around that, right? I mean,
like say ideally, like we have privacy of spending, but the government doesn't. Is that what you're looking at?
I mean, that should be a thing.
I don't know enough.
I don't want
to
get
like.
No, just do this.
I don't think there's.
This is the
I don't think there's
politician
a solution currently out there. I think they're building the building blocks of it, the Lego bricks. But I think that is the future. I think we went from trading salt to trading pebbles to trading gold to trading paper that was backed by gold to trading paper that was backed by debt of other things to eventually we'll have digital currencies that, I mean, you look at Bitcoin, right? The argument there is
we already
that
kind of are in a digital currency, right? Like I can't remember the last time I paid for cash in anything except for the donut that I bought at the
but you
farmer's
do
market.
that, right? You pay for Venmo, right? And Venmo keeps a balance and they transact it from your bank. And that takes days to process.
Well, I just use
your credit
my
card,
credit card.
right? And they create that credit card company then creates a little tally of all your expenditures and then you pay it from your bank account. It's all separated. I feel like we're getting a little off topic from the political system, but
it makes sense because you're talking about a path towards a more accountable government,
Yeah, and not only just the accountable government, but a path towards accountable ownership of digital items, digital art. We've talked about that before, right? I mean, to say, all right, hey, I created this GIF or GIF, whatever your preference is.
It's both.
I created this image, I created this song, I created this movie, and I can sell it directly without having to get a distributor involved.
So we're talking about social structures though, right? So you're saying like what would be the best that we've had? What would take us to
a 10?
Well, we're at a 4. He's saying like we're at a 4 out of a 100.
I'm not even asking for 6.
Yeah.
Just give me the 5.
Like what's better than what we're at?
We're not at 4, we're at 3.
I mean, do we even have a financial should we have a financial structure, right? Like is it like should finances matter in a better world, right? Like if we all actually cared and we were just like there to help each other, then we wouldn't really need money.
And now you have arrived at Star Trek.
Yeah.
Because this is what he was talking about too, is in Star Trek, they have replicators, aka space magic.
Yeah.
Post-scarcity society, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Post-scarcity?
Yeah.
I say that puts us at 5.
I mean, I feel like the United States already is in a post-scarcity, right? Like we're not scarce of anything really. It's a false scarcity.
Have you seen the price of dark chocolate?
But this is like a we don't have to have that scarcity, right? Like it's a false scarcity.
Yeah, but it's false scarcity imposed by capitalism, because if there's only 20 slices of pizza and 21 people, I can charge more per slice.
Like technically the United States has enough money to feed everybody in the world.
And you can't eat money.
To take everybody out of poverty.
Yeah.
Right? Elon Musk alone has enough money to put every kid in the United States through college for like, what is it, like 5 years, 6 years or something?
In
like
this
that?
economy?
Huh? It's like some ridiculous amount to where it's like just the amount of money that he has could lift so many people out of poverty.
Yeah. I mean, I think he individually has more money than the combined bottom 60% of America.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah, I think somebody should attack him for that.
No, at the same time.
Dude, bro.
Directly.
Bro.
Dang it.
No.
I think you could take him. I've seen him.
This guy can't even take a homeless guy in the parking lot.
That's not true. Yeah. I diffuse the situation. I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, you're a diffuser. So we're not taking
You're
anybody.
a pacifist that actively calls for somebody to take action.
What I'm saying is you can't just give people shit though at the same time, because then people don't do anything.
Maybe
there is an element of
now we're talking.
There is an element of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right? Like I don't think that's like, I'm not one of the people that's like, well, if they can't pull themselves up by the bootstraps, leave them behind in the mud. No, that's fucked up too.
Drive them to the homeless shelter.
Yeah, do something to help out, right? Like, I don't teach them how to pull themselves up by the bootstrap. Do something.
Ain't nobody got time to teach them how to tie shoes.
My thing is, it's like you can't just give people shit, because there's a lot of people that are just going to take advantage of that and be lazy and do nothing.
Okay, legit question. Is, assuming we're in a post-scarcity society, nobody's suffering, is being a lazy fuckwit a moral failing?
A moral failing?
Yeah. Is it objectively bad for you just fuck around
to live your life?
But I mean, why are we in a post-scarcity situation then?
We have AI and robots that do all of the manual labor.
Okay.
We have replicators.
Okay, so we have AI. Let's use AI because this is a real world thing right now.
We can make bootstraps out of nano machines.
Okay.
Can they pull themselves right up?
So
I could use I need a platinum bracelet. There we go.
For some reason, AI didn't destroy us, and they're here and they're whatever, and everybody's cool with it. We're just going to say that. Okay. Yeah. And everything's fine. Then, no, I don't think it matters. Somebody wants to be a lazy fucking bitch and smoke weed, then no. Like all day and that's all they do, because robots are taking care of everything and they didn't kill us and we're friends and like whatever.
Until they were like, God damn, these fucking pot smoking hippies need to fucking be removed because we're doing all the work.
But at the same time, I personally don't think that sitting around doing nothing for your life is going to lead to somebody being a happy individual. And
No.
so do you have a responsibility then
To teach them poetry.
to teach them something, to pull them out of being a lazy piece of shit?
No, so being post scarcity, I think that would put you at 5. It doesn't solve. It's not 100, right? It's not
Utopia.
going to solve all of our human wants and needs, because we like, yes, like I experience this very quickly when I have like a day off. I get real angsty real fast. Like I'm looking forward to the day off, got nothing coming up. And then I have like 8 hours of free time. I have accomplished all that I want to in like the first 3 hours. And now I'm just like, oh, fuck. I think I need to go buy a video game or something. But like, I feel guilty about it because that's like a waste of time. So,
But would you feel like, so right now you feel like something's a waste of time because you feel like you should be making money to provide for your family or something like that, right?
no,
Or being productive in some way.
I've felt that for the past like 12, 15 years. I think it's a learned mindset for sure.
Right. But why? Is it because of capitalism?
There's two sides to this, right? The pursuit of whatever that is. There is the pursuit of like things you need, and there's the pursuit of attention and like social status. That's the thing that I think drives more of my behavior than the money part. Yes, I want money, but I mostly want enough money to like not have to worry about money.
But why do people want money? People want money because of attention and social status.
I mean, in my case, no. I want money.
I
So
mean,
I could
this
afford
is like once you get past basic living expenses.
I just want
right?
to. I want to be able to afford a 3-person stand-up sup.
I want to leave enough for my kids to have their money grow without.
So-
You want your kids to be little fuck arounds, not doing anything.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I feel like I've talked about this with my wife. Like we have funds put away for our kids. We put money in the bank in investments like every month for them, right?
You're just gonna burn it all.
But
I'll take it.
what I told her was like, I feel like we should have it in like our advance directive or our will, whatever, to where they can't touch it until they're like 30.
I mean, I just look at it as the way currently going, right? If you don't have that lump sum of cash earning interest and compounding on itself, like I don't even want my kids to touch it. I just want it to keep growing for generations.
For my grandkids.
For the family.
How are we
Right,
gonna build
like-
an empire if we don't have a lump sum?
How are you going to survive if the minimum like level of like I look at it as like people are falling off the cliff into homelessness, falling off the cliff into like just below the poverty line because the cost of living keeps going up
Do you
and the
think people
wave
are actually
describing.
falling into homelessness? Do you think people
I
that are not
actively
drug
know
addicts and
people-
stuff are falling into homelessness?
He tripped
I don't know.
and fell and landed right in the homelessness.
I don't know anybody who's not out there just like
Pursuing
has
it
a mental
actively.
issue or like, yeah, is like, I'm going to just be a drug addict, is homeless. I mean, maybe people are going and doing drugs and becoming major alcoholics or whatever because they're having
Mhm.
financial issues. I have a hard time believing that. I feel like there's other issues going on there.
I'm sure that's not just a singular issue.
Yeah, it's probably a complex and different from people to people, but
But you try to find a 1-bedroom apartment here. What is that, $2,000 a month at minimum?
yeah, that's what I'm paying.
I mean, that's here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can go and live in a mobile home if you really needed to.
If you need to live in a mobile home, you're paying $1,500 a month to the land.
yeah, land lease. I looked into it.
I'm just saying that's the reason that I'm looking for money is to continue to kind of stockpile for future generations. Stockpile.
You're saying future generations, not your kids.
My kids, their kids. I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to create the little snowball.
You want to be the first Duke of
I don't want to be a duke. I just want my children and my children's children, if they even have children, if they're even still alive. It might all be for
that?
nothing.
Did you get that from your parents?
Fuck no, I didn't get any of that.
So do you feel like you're the way that you are because you didn't get that?
Maybe, probably. I've seen it from other people. I have family members that have that.
You know what those kids do when they inherit a bunch of money?
They're fuck offs.
They have a lot of cocaine.
they're moving straight to the Amazon, buying a giant bungalow in the trees.
Wait, what?
This is the thing they do.
Who? Who's that?
Rich kids,
Is that a thing?
Amazon bungalow. Look it up.
You get it on Amazon?
No, it's not diametrically opposed.
Yeah. So what do you think then?
Well,
What gets us to a 5, Jeremy?
post scarcity would be nice. I think, yeah, like some sort of. I mean,
But post scarcity, is like not a political, it's not a socio-economic. That is an energy and a food.
But here's the thing. It's a distribution issue because, as Aaron said, we're already there. If we were able to distribute resources in an equitable manner, or at least a more equitable manner, at least to the point where nobody was starving or homeless or hungry, which is another word for starving, I think that would put us at a 5. Right? I don't think society has ever been there.
But we can be there right now.
If everybody gets fed and everybody, like, what stops overpopulation? I'm not trying to say go and
well, then people are lazy.
Well, currently we're in the opposite direction, right? And
which actually
I think natural incentives, like most like modern people are like fine with like 2-3 kids.
Or no kids.
Because it's a bitch to take care of financially.
Well, no, because kids are a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't know if some people say, oh, it's because it's too expensive to have kids. I think it's because people don't want the responsibility of having all those kids.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a combination.
Ain't nobody got time for all them kids.
I think we're going to I think a lot of people, some people might get offended by this, but I feel like some people are more selfish now in that sense, to where they're like, no, I just want to focus on me.
Yeah.
I don't want to focus on these little shits running around.
I agree with you, but I think this is a direct reaction to hopelessness because they see a world where they don't feel comfortable raising kids. They're like, why would I bring kids into this world? That's not everyone in that camp, obviously, but I think that's a portion of it. They're like, they don't see themselves having enough money or resources to take care of kids, at the very least, personally, even if they think society could support kids. And so they think, well, like, why am I going to bring kids into this world to suffer? Like, when I can't afford like fucking powdered milk, whatever. I'm just going to, live my own life and that's all I can afford. And you see that in societies where people can't afford to live. Like, that's like an issue in China right now. That the birth rate is just like way, way, way down because people are hopeless.
Well, we're way different than China though. I mean, do you think it's that, or do you think it's more of the fact that like, they don't even feel like adults themselves, right? Like a lot of people can't, I mean, it's weird because our country is a large place, right? I think economically it's way different from state to state, right? So like we always talk about how California is super expensive, but you go to like, I don't know, Arkansas or something like that, right? Like people are going to have a different mentality than here. I don't think it costs, a minimum of $1.5 million to buy a house in Kansas or something compared to here.
Moving to Kansas.
So, but what I was going to say is at least here, in California, like, do you think it's because like, there's these 25-year-old people that literally don't even feel like adults yet because they can't afford to move out of their parents' house or whatever. So it's like, they don't even see themselves as like, yeah, I can raise a kid or whatever, because like, I'm not even an adult. How am I going to go and have a kid?
Mm-hmm.
To where back in the day, people felt like adults when they were like 15.
Yeah.
Like,
and they
fuck,
look
I got to
like
take
it
care
too,
of the
man.
household. And yeah.
Look at those old photographs of like
15-year-olds.
right, like the Golden Girls, right? That show.
They were all 15.
They were like our age.
What?
They were like,
No.
they're in their late 30s.
Yeah. There's no way.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look that up.
They were at least in their like 50s. Come on.
I mean, even then, 50-year-olds now look pretty young, compared to what they did that might have just been the style though, like how they did their hair and the clothes that they wore or
I
whatever.
just did my wrinkles.
You're right.
Yeah.
They're in their 50s.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at like Home Improvement
They
and
were
stuff.
all
Like
30.
Home Improvement, I think they were our age.
For sure.
Yeah, they look reasonable.
Yeah, but they looked older than, I don't know, maybe we actually look hella old.
I look young.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever reach a perfect
Well, not
world.
with that attitude.
But it's more because it's like, I don't know if humanity is meant to be that way, right? Like if you keep saying post-scarcity, right? Like if we were in a society where like we actually didn't have to worry about anything,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if people would like have a drive to do anything.
I think
It might.
you're wrong.
I think we'd evolve to meet the times. we might take on a more Buddhist
I think a lot of people
mentality.
I think a lot of people strive to create and to build things because they're trying to pull them out of a situation that they're not happy with.
Which is capitalism, which is
That's what I'm
the
saying.
American way.
Maybe. I think people will get real into Pokemon.
Too late.
There will be so many conventions. People will be battling instead of just collecting.
That's how we could get our human anger out. Instead of killing one another, we could just Pokemon tournaments.
This is what we talked about in the last episode. We were like, why do we have to go to war? Can we just like play video game battles against each other?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like if you and like think about your average affluent teenager. How does he love to spend his time? He's playing Call of Duty.
Now? Yeah.
5.
I guess. But I feel like a lot of those people are getting bored and depressed with their lives and whatever, you know?
It's because they're teenagers.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. Dude, every post-scarcity, hashtag post-scarcity, everybody's going to be jacked. Everybody's going to be fit. Some people, because they're contrarians, will be heavy smokers. They're not going to be jacked or fit.
Or it could be the Wall-E situation where they're so
This is what
obese
I'm
that they're
thinking.
going to
It's
be
gonna
like
be
on a
the-
hovercraft.
Oh my God.
like-
Yeah.
We're gonna have divergent evolutions into
Ooh.
a race of Chads and whatever the
A
lady
race of Chads and
the lady Chads are called, and Jessicas. Is that what they are?
I don't know.
That's probably a very 90s thing to say. I'm sorry. And a race of like blobby people, like amorphous blobby chair riding people.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine a world where we could just do whatever the fuck we want.
Says the guy who went to the aquarium today.
There was a lot of people at the aquarium today.
So you got a lot of people doing whatever the fuck they want, and what they did want to do.
Well, this is what going back to what I was saying a minute ago. I feel like we're kind of there.
We're kind of there, except for the guy who couldn't afford drugs.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, he couldn't afford it because I didn't have any.
He couldn't afford it because he probably had the money and he chose to spend it all.
He wanted to put that on credit, bro.
So what I want to know from the audience is, do drug dealers take credit cards these days?
That is a good question. I feel like
I mean,
the
not
answer is
even,
probably yes.
not on, like, you can't even get a legalized dispensary to take a credit card.
You can't?
They only accept cash and debit.
Are you sure?
They've got real
You
big
know,
guns
you know
behind
why the
counter,
guys
so-
you know why the guys in the alley can accept credit card? Because they show up as like, I don't know,
Friend-
Jimmy's Candy Shop
friend
or
transfer.
something, right? Like it's like some random business that's not drugs.
It's just candy. The perfect metaphor
That's like
for drugs.
that's Tropic Thunder. Don't there's jelly beans in there.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Black, he has like what is it?
No,
What drug
I
is he
think
doing?
you're thinking of.
It's Jack Black in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of The Hangover.
Is Jack Black?
Hey, there's Skittles in there.
That's another one. Yeah.
Is Jack Black in Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like this like coked out. He's a coked out actor.
If you haven't seen that movie, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it. I've seen it like 3 times. I don't remember Jack Black.
They could not make that movie today with
absolutely
Robert
not.
Downey Jr. as the black dude.
Well, yeah, they couldn't afford him.
That too. I keep seeing these things pop up where he's like, he doesn't regret doing that role. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't. He did fucking, there's even like little clips of like black people being like, I've got no problem with it. Like, he was pretty fucking funny.
I mean, he was doing a parody of
Exactly.
blackface, so it's
Yeah,
loud.
I know. That's, I feel like comedy needs to have an exception for being offensive.
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for.
God, what was I watching the other day that actually had blackface on it? Can't remember the
Something
movie.
from the 70s.
It was
Oh, back in the day. I mean, there was like old Disney cartoons and stuff that's why like on all the modern ones, they have all the apologies before it starts out.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a lot of offensive things in here and we're not
also-
going to wipe them out, but just know that there's offensive things in here. You ever see those?
Yeah, and also this movie was made with slave labor in China.
Yeah.
I think hate has entropy to it. I think generation by generation, people are becoming kinder, more understanding, especially in the generations that
I
have
thought
more
that
access
until
to
recently.
information.
Until I see everybody coming out of the woodworks with all of the political stuff going on.
Again, yeah, I mean,
Dude, fucking all the ICE stuff popping up. I'm on my, just constantly, I have that ring, the doorbell, and on the app, literally I'll be working and I try to disable it on my phone, but it's just like every 10 minutes, bring, 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 ice is in the neighborhood over here, ice over there. And then I'll just say, okay, well, I got to click on it now because it's been blipping on my phone for 30 minutes. And I'll click on it and it's just like 40% of the people on there being like, yeah, go get him out of here. Get him.
Jeez.
And I'm just like, are these just a bunch of troll? I feel like they're not trolls on Ring because it's like attached to somebody's actual household.
Well, it could be teenagers.
Teenagers on the Ring app.
Why not?
They're not the ones that have it, own the home.
Homeowners.
I mean, there's probably a bunch of old people, but
Regardless, I still think there's entropy to it. I think we are in a better place than we were 50, 100 years ago. I think we can agree on that point.
Genghis Khan killed like 10% of humans.
yeah.
So
Well,
We'll see.
Genghis Khan.
We'll see
We've said this before.
where we get in the next 100 years or two.
potato.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, we've said this before. Like, we're technically at a safer place, or we're like the safest we've ever been in history. The least danger, I guess, the amount of danger that we're in.
Where we're at.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, depending on where you're at. Sure, right, okay, but I think it's overall on Earth.
Yeah.
If you take everybody, the
There's no-
average,
On average.
There's no tigers.
right? Well,
Depending on where
We
you're
fucking
at.
killed all them
that's a whole
bitches.
nother conversation.
We kill all the
I just saw that some rhino went officially extinct. I think like the
white
white
rhino.
the white rhino officially went extinct today or something like that.
Rest in peace, white rhinos.
We'll bring it back. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Well, yeah, there's that whole company that's doing that. The
Yeah. They mentioned that on the
What's the Jurassic
San
Park
Diego
company
Zoo.
called?
Colossal.
No, that's InGen.
No, they're called Colossal. They're bringing the mammoths back.
Talking two different things.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Engine.
You cross
InGen is a fictional company in the Jurassic Park
Oh.
novels.
Oh, okay.
Yours is
I'm talking the
world.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really missed an opportunity not calling it engine.
Yeah. Well, it's probably
It's probably
trademark.
for the best.
Yeah.
A little bad in connotations on that one. But we all know that there's an island somewhere out there that they're fucking.
I'm in favor of
each other
calling
up.
a spade a spade.
Well, what can we do, boys, individually, to make the world a better place in the situation that it's in right now? What's going on? You know, we're talking post-scarcity. We're talking the way politics are right now. We're talking about endangered species. What can you, as an individual, do?
I like to restack negative tweets about ice. I guess they're stacks. They're not. They're notes. I like to share Bernie memes.
Okay. Memes.
Uh,
I feel like a lot of people feel like heroes sharing memes out there. I
I-
have a buddy, Marcus. He doesn't watch it. Maybe he'll watch this. I don't know. He's just a meme guy constantly. He feels like he's making the world a better place.
Whenever you see a video, you smash that like button.
Yeah, you do make somebody's day.
No, you're getting the word out.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you smash the like button, you're making that person's day. They put all that time into that video?
No, we don't worry about them. We worry about spreading the word.
Oh, spreading the good word.
Feed the algorithm.
Got it. Okay.
Stop watching them shorts.
Mm.
Those are bad for you.
I don't know. I think, yeah. I feel like I need to do what I preach, you know.
You need to start a
walk.
soup kitchen.
I need to walk the walk. Yeah. I said it earlier, but like go out and do something yourself, like physically, like volunteer your time, right? Like whether it's
Punch a criminal.
punch a criminal, whether it's like, whether it's go to a food shelter and, you know, or go to a shelter and like help out, hand out food or something, or go to an elderly home and spend time with an elderly person, volunteer at a children's hospital, like something that you can physically go and do. Like you don't have to spend money to do it. Like
You
don't-
guys are in luck. All right. We're looking
Yeah?
for some volunteers
What are you looking for?
to help staff our firework booth for Little League. You
Oh,
guys wanna
fireworks! I
help
can't
out?
do that. We're blowing shit, dude. We're giving heart attacks to people and dogs. I'm against fireworks.
All right.
It
Fair
also
enough.
is sleepy outside.
Just got out of a 3-hour shift. Good job.
I don't have 3 hours.
I think fireworks are worse for humanity and the environment than the.
I
don't know what I'm
They're
trying to
definitely
say.
not worth the.
I feel like I'd be
Like the
doing. I feel
crappy
like I'd
little
be a worse
fireworks, man.
person going and helping to give people fireworks than I would be than like not
Yeah, but 50% of sales goes to our Little League. So
Only
driving a
50?
hard bargain. 15 or 50.
5-0.
That is a pretty
that's
big,
why-
that's a pretty big percentage.
Yeah, it's a big fundraiser for us.
I think fireworks should be illegal on every day but the 4th of July at this point. I'm so fucking
I
over
mean
it.
they are they not?
It should be enforced.
Las Vegas. There was a place in Las Vegas Strip that just caught on fire because of fireworks.
Like the past week, they're setting off like M80s by my house. Fucking just
Well, I know, dude. That's the thing. It's like I have dogs here, and like they're literally throwing dynamite over my house, like for 15 days, 30 days before 4th of July,
yeah.
and my fucking windows are rattling, and my dogs are having heart attacks. I'm like, guys,
Yeah. If I knew who was doing it, I would go over there and be like, hey, like, look,
Yeah.
I know you're excited. You are such a nuisance.
I know. I feel I sound like fucking curmudgeon over here, but they like sent something out to vote on whether to make fireworks illegal here because they are legal.
Yeah.
And my wife and I are like, man, they're fun, but fuck, are they annoying?
Yeah.
Especially when you have dogs. So we
Yeah.
voted to get rid of them, but it didn't pass.
You NIMBY.
All right, Daniel, what do you say? What can you do to make the world a better place?
Can you top
What-
banning fireworks?
I mean, as parents, I think our number one thing we can do is just raise our kids to have
Start
the right
it from the
morals.
ground up. That's a good one.
Don't raise racist kids.
Yeah, try your best. I
Yeah.
mean, the racists are going to look at us and be like, man, you're raising some pussies over there that don't know how to take care of themselves. I mean, there's a spectrum on all sides of what should be. I mean,
Racism. There's a conversation to be had.
No, but like what he's saying is there's this, well, I don't want to,
put some words in my mouth.
what I interpret from that is it's like, there's going to be people that are going to interpret that message differently, right? Like, so if you just say, well, raise your kids well from the beginning and then things will be fine. Well, there's going to be a racist out there that's going to be like, well, teach them that blacks are bad and kick the Mexicans out and this and that. And it's like, well, no, that's not exactly what I had in mind.
Yeah, and even there's a, like even if you have like good intentions and you're not like hurting other people, you people have different standards for their kids. Some parents are more like coddling and other parents are more like,
Sure.
I want them to suffer on their own so they can figure it out later.
Yeah, I'm a little mix in
Yeah.
between. I guess that's why the whole, treat other people the way that you would like to be treated doesn't really hold up so well.
Because you like to be hurt.
There might be some people that are that live 50 Shades of Grey, right? And they love that.
I don't want to be treated.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, on that note, let's just raise good people. I feel like the majority of people out there, hopefully you guys watching this and or listening to this, have a baseline of what's good and what's bad. And I think starting them off early in a good direction is probably a safe bet.
it sounds about right.
Yeah. Starts close to home and then it radiates out.
Yeah.
Or you could just completely traumatize them and then they can go off and just have bad experiences.
And because kids are contrarians, they'll become great people.
I mean, hey, look, man, I know a lot of people with shitty parents that are really good people and a lot of people with good parents that are shitty people. So I don't know. Seems like
It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crap shit.
Well, you as an individual, then you just baseline, try and be a good person.
Keep on feeding the machine.
You know what? Go out there, give a homeless person a ride home.
volunteer.
Don't
at your
sell
local
drugs to
fireworks
anybody.
stand.
And volunteer at your
Whatever you
local
do,
fireworks station.
don't give homeless people your drugs.
And on that note,
Little did he know.
that the police were watching this podcast.
all right, guys.
Thanks for your brand loyalty.
Yeah, give us some of that brand loyalty over here.
Yeah. See
Hey,
you next time.
Jeremy, you want to give us your sign out?
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Is that what it is tonight?
No, I haven't been.
I thought it was Annette. What did he say in the last episode? He tried to say goodnight and he just slurred it. Annette.
That's me. I usually do those
Yeah.
things.
You can give us a new one tonight. What do we got?
was.
And on that note, good night.